Hello, welcome everyone to this beautiful session for today. In fact, we have been so excited for this particular session, and we are hoping that everyone will be able to learn as much as they can. In fact, it's going to be a lovely session for everyone. I believe everyone can see my screen. So if by any chance you haven't followed any of our links, I would love you to actually take some time to click on each of those links and be a part of what these trainings we are doing. The idea is once you join the groups, you're always going to be aware whenever we have any training or whenever we have any event coming up. We make use of this platform such as the Meetup, Twitch, YouTube, Twitter, LinkedIn, and Telegram. All right, I'll be going ahead to introduce myself. My name is Promise Uche Unwachku. I'm a senior consultant on the Cloud Ops and DevOps with Ernst & Young. Also, I have about 10 years of experience in cloud deployments, system administration, and networking. Well, I've been actively involved in the Azure community for the Nigeria section. And well, you can contact me on any of these channels on Twitter, on LinkedIn, or you can even go through my blog, All right, so I'll be introducing our next moderator, or the moderator who is going to be working with me on this particular event for today. He is none other than Raphael Gab-Momo. Raphael is a versatile DevOps practitioner and a cloud engineer with years of experience that is always seeking to leverage proven continuous deployment skills to raise quality outcome. He's an active member of the community, and you can always reach him on Twitter and LinkedIn. And yeah, on the production end, we actually have a very wonderful gentleman, none other than David Oyer. He's also a cloud security consultant and a solutions architect at Prisma Cloud. And well, he's been doing a wonderful job with us here. He's also a Microsoft Azure MVP and an active member of the community as well. You can reach him on Twitter and on LinkedIn. All right, I'll be going ahead to give a short introduction on the MVPs we are going to be speaking with today. The first MVP we'll be looking at we'll be speaking with is Fonyi Olajide Bello. She's a Microsoft Business Apps and Services MVP and a senior cloud consultant in the cloud engineering department of Avanade. You can check her out on her LinkedIn page. Right. The second MVP we'll be speaking with today is Oluwaseyi Oluwawumiju. Well, if you don't know Seyi, he's actually our regional lead for the MCT channel in Nigeria. He actually is the leader we look up to for direction in giving us ideas on how we plan our events. So, I mean, this is one man you really, really want to know. He is a Microsoft Office Apps and Services MVP and a management executive at Covenant Technologies. And yeah, that's his LinkedIn page as well. The next MVP we'll be speaking with is Olajumoke Toriola. She is a Microsoft Office Apps and Services MVP and a Chief Technology Officer at Hashem Limited. Well, you can always reach on to her LinkedIn page through the link you can see on your screen. The second to the last MVP we'll be speaking with is none other than Dara Oladapo, right? He is a Microsoft Developer Technologies MVP and a Principal Technical Learning Specialist at QA Limited. And that is his LinkedIn handle. The last MVP which we'll be having on this event for today is none other than Paul Oyer Mcquinhua. He is a Microsoft Azure MVP and a team lead with the cloud platform and applications infrastructure team in RAGBI. well, you can always reach out to him on the LinkedIn link shared on the screen. So at this point in time, I would be welcoming one of the MVPs, which I have just spoken to you, right? But before I go into that, I want to actually let you know about this work being done by one of our, active members in the community here. This is being done by David Okeyode. It's a book which he has actually just recently produced, Microsoft Azure Security Technologies Certification Guide. You want to actually go to that link and purchase this wonderful book. All right. At this point, I'll be welcoming on board our wonderful MVP and our regional lead, none other than Oluwaseyi. Oluwaseyi, how are you doing today?
Well, I'm doing great. Thank you, Promise.
That's
mouth-watering introduction for me.
Yeah.
I'm a small man.
Oh, Shay, I know
the
you
small
want
boy
to,
of all.
I know you want to look like you're be humble, and that is actually one of the attributes we actually admire about you, and we appreciate that. And on this session, we really want to tap from your knowledge. I mean, you've been guiding this community for, I would say, a while now. At least I can know up to the last 5 years. I know you've been guiding this community, and one of the things I just want to find out from you, or I would like you to share with us, is how do you balance between the community work and making some money for the pocket? How do you do that? How do you schedule between the two? As a married man that you are, having to take care of the family and then having to do some stuff with the community as well. How do you balance between the two? Hello, Shayi, are you there?
Oh, wow, that's one question that you. Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. I can hear you.
I think the internet is also dropping here.
Okay.
Internet is dropping very fast now also. One thing I know, when you talk of work and community, to balance the two, generally community spirit is a passion, and making money, feeding your family is also a responsibility. And most often time, when I was in active workforce, probably working for companies, and it was a little bit easy because I know that my salary will come in. I just have to pay my quota to the establishment and be responsible to them. Now that I run my own thing, it's a little bit flexible, but the challenge is that if you are not careful, if you are not balancing it properly, you tend to do community in everything you do, even in business. But really, in order to be stable, to be balanced, you must have time. And one thing I do now is I specify time for each of them. Time to go for business, time to be with my family, and to ensure there is a constant stream of fund that comes in. Especially with this COVID and post-COVID era, it's really challenging. But as I said, the first thing, you must have a passion for the community, and you must also know it's a responsibility for you to take care of your family. How you're going to do it is to ensure that you prioritize things you do part-time, and ensure that each of these channel is properly fed. Except if not, you have issue with either the family or issue with the community you are working with, or even with your own business. So prioritizing has been the way I've been able to do this. Yeah.
All right, that's very, very great. I mean, like I said, we are here to learn from you, as a leader in this community. Another thing I would like to also ask from you, or I would like you to share with us as, a community, is what do you think are the challenges of being an MVP here in Nigeria and other countries? What can you
Well,
share with us have been some challenges you've been encountering as an MVP here in Nigeria, and challenges MVP in other countries also encounter?
okay. Well, the challenge I can really see is what we are just facing now, which is practical. Outside country, very advanced country, find out that they have advanced platform to be able to do community work, especially in this COVID and post-COVID era. The first challenge I notice here is that availability of infrastructure that can carry out effectively what we want to achieve without breakage. Um, Another thing that is have been a challenge for a while is inability to have, especially for Africans, to have our presence known to Microsoft. Um, Back 5 years ago, or 5 years ago, before I became an MVP, we can really count how many MVP we have, maybe one or two. And the reason why that was because there was no presence, there was no um, talent showcasing themselves to Microsoft, especially from this region, that they have the stuff.
Okay, yeah. Seems like we actually lost Shay there. Actually, he was talking of this particular challenge. Funny, the internet connectivity. He was actually just speaking about that. But well,
Yeah,
oh, good, he's back. Hello, Shay. Yeah, we can actually see and hear you now, so you can actually
yeah.
continue.
Okay.
Yeah. So you were speaking
So
of the
um,
challenges you
earlier before
experienced
the
here.
COVID-19, the challenge I saw was that.
Yeah, you can go on.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you clearly.
Okay, so another thing I saw that was a challenge earlier was most of our talents in Africa, especially for Microsoft facing application, has not been properly showcased to Microsoft generally, especially to the MVP group. I remember several years back when I met David. David is the MVP now. We met in one of the events in US, and he's a Nigerian, very talented, and unfortunately, we noticed that he was not known. Now I know what me and David did. We just went to meet the guy that was actually in charge and let him know that there are talent here. And I told them that one thing about Africa is that we work from the grassroots. We might not have all the technology that they have there, but we have talent here that are doing great things that is not properly showcased. And that was when they realized there are so many talent in Africa. And the testimony is that we have several of them, even those on this call, where those are the testimony that came from that. So one challenge is that most of our talent in Africa are not properly showcased to the people that are awarding this MVP. Why? That's why we have little or no number. The number is less compared to other regions. In Africa, we can count our teeth to know how many MVP. And we are talking of a continent over, for Nigeria, for example, we have over 200 million people. And I can tell you out of those 2 million people, we have talent that develop application that runs between core Microsoft application, but because they are from the grassroots, we need to push them out. Showcasing and allowing them to see what we have is one of the challenge I see that we had in the previous year. But it's changing with the digital era. We now have our feet in the virtual environment. All we need to do is to do more. Let people like Promise be known. Have your own blog, do your own video. People like Raphael coming up with events or something that can be showcased. And I can tell you, emphasis is directed to Africa now. They know we have talent. We just need to get out there.
All right, that's great. That's great. Trust me, I'm actually working on that as well. Hopefully, everything will go fine. All right. So, one more question I have for you. Of course, we have lots of questions from the audience. They are buzzing us with questions. Hello, the audience. I'll just advise that keep sending in your questions. We will actually ask them to the MVPs we have in the house, and they will be able to provide more clearer answers to us. Okay, so one more question I'd like to put across to you just before we move to the next MVP is, are the steps to becoming an MVP the same in Nigeria, India, or any other country? Are the steps the same?
They are the same, obviously the same. Um, the timeline and the basic thing is awareness. How do they know you? What is your profile? What passion do you have for the community? And it's not just about showcasing yourself. You must be driven by passion. Must be driven by something that is peculiar. Now, my instance is that when I started off with this community activity, is what I experienced in my college, where I noticed that people hide information, especially people that are very good in certain spell of technology. They hide it, and you notice that if those kind of people leave the system, that technology leave the system. Then I had at the back of my mind that I want to reach out to the grassroots, because I'm a grassroots driven person. Places where people don't really they have nothing, and they are talented, showcasing them. And one thing I know is that everything that we have is the same thing they have in the US. But the stake here is that the presentation in UK, because of the infrastructure, might be superb. But the presentation in Africa might come with challenges. But the truth is that India has over 100 of MVPs, despite although we can't in terms of technology, they're literally very advanced when it comes to the Indian environment, but still we cannot call them as an advanced environment. But still they have over 100. South Africa, they're more advanced, they have more MVP. But in the whole of West Africa, East Africa, even the North Africa, we can count few MVPs because we are not showcasing ourselves. People are not aware of what we can do. People are waiting to see what we can do and put a face to it. And once your face is put to it, it's an easy take in terms of selecting you. So it's the same principle, the same model across any region, but the challenge of the region is peculiar to that region, and that can be a limitation.
All right. That's great. Thank you very much for that clarification, Mr. Shea. You've been giving us insight as to some of these things we've been wondering, do they have different processes out there, or is it the same? And you have just clarified that to us. Thank you very much on that. All right. I will be bringing on board the next MVP, but that will be handled by my co-moderator, Raphael Gab Momo. Raphael, how are you doing?
I'm good, bro. I'm good.
Yeah. That's good. All right. So I believe you can pick on from here. So tell us, who are we speaking to next?
We're speaking to this gentleman, Mr. Dara. Dara, finally good to see you on camera. It's your Twitter that I've been looking at all along. So,
hello, Dara.
Yeah. Oh, hello, sorry, my mic was muted. Yeah. It's good to be here.
Oh, cool. Awesome. So, you're a gentleman, and we heard that. Oh, first of all, congratulations. We heard that you just had a baby. So
yeah, very much. It's been about 10 months now. They're about.
Cool.
It's still like yesterday. So just that the baby is the right one.
Oh, okay. So As a follow-up to that, has that impacted your contributions to the community in any way? How does being a dev feels?
Well, I'll probably say that's one of the most rewarding things to be on earth, to be a father, to know you're responsible for somebody's life. I think it's just a joyous feeling knowing that this is my blood that I give back to, and I'm supposed to bring this person up in the best way I can. And to answer your question, that if this has affected my contributions to community in any way, I would say no. Mostly because I try to, and I'm not saying I'm perfect in doing anything. I just try to put things in perspective, and I have a very supportive partner. My wife is very amazing. Even though she goes to work, she goes to school and all that. She knows when I want to do my recordings, I should not be disturbed. And also, I create time. Coming back to what Mr. Sheyi said, creates time for everything. I have times that I'll record and I'll tell you, hey, babe, just give me 2 hours. I want to quickly go record this video. I want to go on this live stream. I have this meeting. Right now, they're in the sitting room enjoying themselves watching YouTube. But I'm here doing community work. And that is the kind of thing. So I know I have someone that is supportive of my goals. She's supportive of my goals. And also, I create that time. So she knows when I'm in the room doing my stuff, I'm doing it. And when I'm done, I come back and spend time with my family. So it's all about priorities. Yeah, she's the one with the comment that she's proud of you, babe. That's my wife.
Yeah, now she's making all of us feel jealous.
So yeah, when we were preparing for this program, I had a very interesting conversation with Promise. I told him that this guy has his wife's picture on his Twitter. I hope, because I'm not married, he's not married, I hope that when we get married, we're going to be like him. So just
that would be cool.
Just for you to know, people are already following the steps.
Cool.
Okay, so my next question is, Nigeria is a little bit different with their way of reasoning, and we know that UK is UK because you have white folks and people from all other nationalities. So what would you say are the challenges of being an MVP and you are based in the UK?
Well, for me, I would probably say I haven't noticed quite much of many, but I'll probably say the one that I think is just a factor that is affecting the rest of the world: COVID. If we're doing community stuff, we're supposed to meet people face to face, shake hands, meet new people, and all that. The only thing we do is we have this weekly meetups, which I'm not opportune to attend because of the nature of my work. Well, I have attended just once since I became an MVP. I would probably say there's not so much of a challenge because the kind of company that awards this award, Microsoft, it's a company that does not discriminate against your country or race. So if you're Nigerian, if you're from Uzbekistan or China or India or Germany, it doesn't really matter. What matters is the content and the impact you have to make to the world. And they don't care about that. They don't care about who you are, where you come from. It's just they know you're awesome. They know you got this thing to do. They know you're this person that loves community work. So it's still pretty much the same. It's still the same process as Mr. Sheyi said. It's just the same process of applying, process of communication. We get the same benefits as the rest of the world. It's just, I think we have about 200 MVPs in the UK. I think UK plus Ireland. We have about 200 of us, which is, well, maybe a low number also compared to maybe the US and the rest of the world. So I'll probably say that number coming towards this, once we cross that GMT -2 or -3 timeline, it's a little bit, the number is a little bit downwards compared to the Western side of the world. I'd probably say that is what I've seen, but as being an MVP based in the UK, as a Nigerian, there's not so much of a difference between me and Mr. Sheyi and all the rest of the MVPs in Nigeria.
All right, cool. That's really great. That's really great. Well, we have one more amazing question for you, Dara. Actually, this one, we thought about this one and we were like, man, how do we put this across? Well, I would say we also want to get your opinion on this. So, how long has it been since you tasted Eforiro when you moved from Nigeria to the UK?
Okay. Okay. Now I'm gonna bust the bubbles today. I will bust the bubbles. I will probably say I eat Eforiro more consistently than you folks in Nigeria.
Wow.
And you can debate that. Yes, because we got African market over here. We buy Efo, we buy Ila, Ogbono, you name it. We enjoy everything you guys are enjoying. It's just probably you are not using the the proper Odo to do stuff. It's just the same Eforiro and things we do. We eat the normal Efo, we eat the normal poundo, semo, all those kind of things we enjoy.
And,
I can imagine.
I'll take you up.
Definitely. Whenever you're in the UK, just come to my house. We'll feed you. We'll feed you. Go and share the testimony back home.
Wow, that's so nice. That's so nice, Jara. In fact, actually, I was talking with Raphael earlier in the day, and I was like, how would Dara present this question to us? And you did an amazing job. Thank you very much on that. So we'll be moving to the next MVP we have. I want to speak to, which is none other than Olajumoke Toriola. Hello, Olajumoke. How are you doing today? Jimmy, are you there? All right. Okay. So while we wait for Jumi, we will be speaking with Fonyi. Yes, I'm sure so many of you must have heard of Fonyi. Well, in fact, I saw her what would I call it, like an update on LinkedIn, trying to tell us how she intends to give us some juicy gist today, on her MVP journey. And I'm really amazed and I'm excited to hear her speak. Hello, Fonyi, how are you doing today?
I'm great, thank you. How are you?
I'm good. Well, I have some juicy questions for you today. Okay. I hope you're prepared.
Well, it should be
all right.
Now, so it's fine. Right. Thank you for having me on.
Yeah, okay, that's cool. You're welcome. So my first question to you now is this: how has your journey as an MVP been so far? What can you tell us about your journey? Being an MVP. Can you give us some idea what that has been so far?
Yes. So first of all, it has been an amazing experience. I think I'm in my second year now as an MVP, and it's always comes as a privilege whenever I'm opportune to talk about the journey. I've had fun meeting with other MVPs and contributing to the community at large. It's a privilege, it's an opportunity, and I'm sincerely grateful for the award.
Wow. Amazing. All right. So funny enough, I was discussing with some of the leads, the producer and the other moderator, and I was like, who should actually handle this question? And something came to my mind. I think Fonyi will do a good job to this. So my next question would be, how does one become an MVP?
I can't believe that question.
Yeah, we decided to throw that on you today.
All right, so my family members have been planning coup behind me.
Yeah, we were actually,
Well, the truth is, and I always say this whenever I'm asked this question, when I started contributing to the community, I didn't have the MVP as a goal. In fact, at that time, I didn't even know how to become an MVP. I just knew at that time, I think it was just Shay and somebody else who was an MVP in Nigeria. And I didn't even know what it was about, but it was just more passion to give back, passion to help other people in their learning journeys. And somehow I got nominated. So I would just like to say about it is be passionate about supporting your local communities, right? We all have local communities everywhere we are, Thanks to the pandemic, every global community is now a local community. So give back. If you learn something new, teach somebody, contribute on blogs, go to the forums, try to answer questions. If you like the Azure Nigeria community, become a part of it. When there's a call for speaker, volunteer to speak at those events, volunteer to support when the in-person event starts. And basically all of that would eventually earn you a recognition and make you noticeable, right? So becoming an MVP, you can do various things. Now, so let's talk about what it is now, because every year we also have to continue doing some certain number of things to retain the award. Various things, starting with speaking. So you can speak in your local meetups. You can mentor. So like for us, we have Textilers, which is a community for women where we mentor other ladies who want to get started in their career, whether it's in Azure or it's in the Power Platform or M365. So we're constantly teaching them how to get started, giving them labs to do, and having these one-on-one sessions with them to support them through their learning journey. So mentorship counts, speaking in local meetups and in global conferences also counts. And then blog, you have your blog. So you learned something new today, you want to write about it, you want to teach somebody about what it is that you're doing, can contribute by writing tech articles and also do YouTube videos, like a lot of people on the call do, like Dara. He has an amazing channel where he does tech things and teaches people how to do tech stuff. So all of the YouTube videos also counts, So it's basically showing technology leadership, and also going to the forums to support people who are having issues around, I can't do this in Power Apps, I'm having an issue with Power Automate, giving solutions to those answers. So Microsoft, when you do all of this for a minimum of 1 year, right? Because MVP award is not just about dashing awards. Microsoft needs to be sure that it's worthy, you're worthy of the award, right? And it has to be a minimum contribution of 1 year. So when you're doing all of this for 1 year, then any Microsoft employee or MVP can nominate you, right? So if maybe somebody in the community notices your passion and the way you've been giving back, it can say, I want to nominate you to become an MVP. And then when you're nominated, it's not automatic, right? You have to put in all that you have been doing and have a way to show evidence that you have been doing it. So maybe the links on YouTube or whatever, they will also ask for all of your social media handles so that they can see what you have been doing to contribute, and if it's actually for a period of 1 month. So it's not like when I was nominated, I had not contributed for a year yet, for 12 months, sorry. I had not contributed for 12 months yet. So the lady in charge of the MVP program for our region said to me, "For your work is amazing. I can see your passion, how you started the community and all that you've been doing. But your contribution is not up to 1 year yet. So I already see prospects in you becoming a Microsoft MVP in business applications, but just stay and continue to give back, and it will come in due course." Initially I was like, I thought I was going to become an MVP, but I was like, okay, fine, no problem. I didn't start all this because of MVP anyway. I just continued doing my stuff, and then boom, I got the email when I was not even expecting it at all, to say, congratulations, you have become an MVP. So these are some of the various ways that you can contribute to the community. We also have people build flows, build Power Apps, and put it on GitHub for people to download and use. So it's just about helping the community members to become better at what it is that they are, whatever technology area that you have your strengths in, and giving back to the community. That's really what it's about.
Wow. That's really, really nice. I would say I have actually learned from you, with the tips you've given, because just like you pointed out, you had the first encounter and, it wasn't successful, and then you had to do some more work, I'd actually come across that challenge, and, we keep putting in the work so that we get better, and one day, hopefully, we get nominated and all of that. So, that's a wonderful one. I have one more question for you. And like I said, we actually thought about you, and we refined these questions just to be able to give some taste to this particular event. Anyway, so my last question for you for now would be, how do you balance the demands from work, being a mom, and your contributions as an MVP? How do you balance them?
Ah, that's a big one. It's a lot of work, really. But I'm passionate about giving back, right? About helping people, about being a part of someone's success story. Every time somebody gives a feedback to say, oh, Foyin, thank you so much for the session you did today. It has helped me in this way or that way, or it has helped me to gain the skills. I just got a new job. I feel a great sense of fulfillment. And that's what keeps me going. But it's tough, right? Like I joined the show a few minutes late because I had to go somewhere with my husband. And I told him, I said, please, I have a show at 6 o'clock, and we got there by 5. And when it was 6, I was literally pinching him and stepping on his toes to say, let's go. But I couldn't say let's go because we're talking to someone. So I was just pinching. So it's not easy. And there are a couple of my sessions, if some of you have attended, you will see my children in the background. My 6-year-old will come. She doesn't even want to know I'm in a meeting. She wants this and that is it. So it's not easy, but I know everybody, we all understand that we have children and having a family is part of our life, right? So whenever they come in the background, everybody just says, okay, it's not a problem. And I quickly mute my mic and attend to them and continue. So it's not easy. It's a lot of commitments, late nights, early mornings, but it's worth it. That's what I would say. It's worth it. Every time I have the opportunity to watch a video that an MVP has done and I gain knowledge from it, I just feel indebted that I can't just be here consuming all of this amazing content that other MVPs are doing. I need to give something back, which was what started the whole journey initially. And I also need to so in my own little way, we have the textilers that we're teaching and helping the women to grow in technology. We have our local power platform, Nigeria user group, where we have our meetings. So I just feel indebted that I need to do something. And that's what keeps me going, despite all of the other activities in my life.
I mean, I was actually just sitting down and just listening because I know as a woman, there are always a lot to juggle with, having to be in this position you're in, having to deal with the kids, having to deal with the husband. And I know it can be a lot, it can be overwhelming, but to whom the grace has been given, it has been given.
Yes, and please, I have to appreciate my husband on this call. He has also been very supportive. Because there are a lot of times I just say, please. I just really need to do 1 hour meetup, and after that, I would attend to you. And he says, okay, no problem. And then I quickly do my session, and then I go back. So he has also been very accommodating. So thank you, Mr. Alaji David.
On your behalf, I'm also saying thank you, Mr. Olajide Bello. On your behalf, I'm doing that for allowing Foyin to be this dedicated and committed to the community. So we are grateful, sir. We appreciate. All right. So the next MVP we'll be speaking to will be anchored by none other than Raphael. Raphael, how are you doing?
I'm good. Thank you very much. It's been a very eye-opening session. Foyin, pleased to meet you.
Same here. Nice to meet you.
Cool.
So,
all right, Raphael.
Paul's internet is having a little issue, so he's going to be speaking off camera. So, but we are very attentive. We're going to be listening to the things he's going to say. Before I proceed, ladies and gentlemen, I want to say that Paul was very instrumental to setting up the group. So, Paul, we would like to appreciate you for that because you brought me into the group.
We are clapping our hands for him already.
Thank you very much. I'm so happy. I'm glad to be here. Yeah, so very, very happy to be here.
So my first question to Paul, in Nigeria, being an MVP is a big deal. So so far, have you gotten better opportunities since becoming an MVP? Because I'm sure a lot of people would want to know, why should I even care? Why should I even bother? So tell us something we want to learn from you.
Okay, so for me, I've had a better opportunity, and there have been a lot of talks and conferences that I've attended, and been being a speaker, in some of those events, and also, I've had an opportunity to at least go for some interviews, even outside the shores of this country. So I think it has opened some great opportunities for me personally, and it has always put me on my toes, to know the latest Microsoft product, that is out there, and always want to preach it out to other people, and also had, some meetings with even Microsoft developers team, or the Microsoft, the engineering team also. So it has actually opened a lot of opportunities for me. I've also meet a lot of great guys, even in this event of being an MVP. I've had a lot of interactions with a lot of guys, even in the group and in African community as an whole. So yeah, it has opened lot of opportunities for me.
So, ladies and gentlemen, you've heard it all from Paul. Being an MVP pays a lot, career-wise and in every way.
Yeah.
So my next question, as a founding member of the Azure Nigeria community, what is the roadmap? How would you lay it out for someone? Because I'm sure a lot of people attending today, they will want to know what they can do from step 1 to step 5 in order to achieve the desire of becoming an MVP. So what is the roadmap? Where would you advise them to start from?
Okay, so I think the very first thing is having a passion, right? If you have a passion for it, go for it. That has always been my goal, right? If I have passion for technology, I've always been someone that, I love technology a lot, especially IT, Microsoft solutions, and recently I've been having a lot of great interest even in Linux solutions also. So yeah, I have been a person that I've been very passionate about technology, and that's also helped me even at the point of we coming together to create this wonderful group. It's not only about me. Creation of the group is a combination of a couple of guys, that came together, to ensure this is set in place, right? So after all of this, the passion, you want to, commit yourself into it. If you are privileged to work in an environment that they are IT savvy, and they are in the IT space, it gives you the opportunity also, to leverage on all of this IT knowledge that you have, even in your day-to-day activities. But if not, okay, you can as well, take some challenges to do some test environment and test some of the solutions around what you've read on. And when you know something, it is good to share, because I believe the best way even to learn sometimes is to share. Because when you are sharing, people, you're adding to people, and people are also adding to you. Okay, so that has always helped me even in my challenges, in my way to becoming a Microsoft MVP and becoming a founding member of the Azure Nigerian Azure family. Yeah, so that has been. I can go through the story around how we created, the Azure family, the Azure Nigerian Azure community. It's a very very interesting story. If you want me to talk about it.
Thank you very much. I believe that you've actually answered my next question, which is supposed to be, okay, maybe I'll still ask it anyways, because there might be someone that didn't listen very well to what you've just said. So because as a bee, all I want is honey, honey, honey. So we are all here to get wisdom. So the more wisdom that is poured out, the better for us. So I'm going to ask the question anyways. I'm not going to drop it. So what does it take to become an MVP? Hello, Paul.
Yeah. All right.
Did you get? Okay.
So I think maybe there has been a breakage in the Paul's
Hello?
connection.
Okay, so
Okay.
yeah, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes,
Sorry, my mic was. Sorry, I was muted at the point. Yeah, sorry. So to become an MVP, it takes dedication, right? You need to be passionate about the technology that you are focusing on. It might not actually be Azure. Well, really, it could be M365, it could be Power Apps, it could be developer, anything that you have your hands in doing. The Bible says do it well, right? So anything you find your hands doing, especially in the technology side, you want to be passionate about it. And when you're passionate about it, you want to share your knowledge, right? You want people to know, or you at least share your knowledge that you know this thing. And when you share your knowledge, it helps other people to get interest in what you know. And when you get interest in what you begin to get recognized. And one day somebody can say all the great works and nominate you, for to becoming an FP. So that is, the roadmap. One thing is you need to be passionate, be ready to share your knowledge, and be ready to also help. So in instances whereby people they have issues and you are there, possibly you know the technology, you know the answers to some of these questions, you are there to always be ready to help them, in achieving or answering some of their questions.
Awesome. So guys, you've heard it all. The summary of what Paul just said is that if you know something, don't be selfish. You need to share. Thank you very much, Paul. It was nice talking to you. So I'll return the mic back to my good friend Promise, and we're gonna get ready for the next MVP.
Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you very much, Paul. That was a very nice session, and thank you, Raphael, for anchoring that for us. Wow. We have an interesting personality in the house. I'm sure some of you already know her for the wonderful work she has been doing in the community space. And the next person we'll be talking to, the next MVP we'll be talking to, is none other than Olajumoke Toriola. Olajumoke, how are you doing today? Hello, Jumoke.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. How are you doing today? Hello, Jumoke.
Hello.
Yes, we can hear you. How are you doing today? Okay, I'm actually wondering if you get my questions. All right. In the meantime, I will just go forward to just ask my first question to you, which would be, we understand, you are a very busy person with the nature of the job you do and all of that. So I would like to ask, what do you do for fun as an MVP? Hello, Jumoke, are you there? Okay, so
yes, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay, so when I'm not doing anything around the MVP or the community work, is either listening to music or watching programs with my family. That's mostly what I do. And if I'm not doing any of that, then I'm always trying my hands on some delicacies because I like to cook.
Wow. Hopefully one of these days we'll be able to taste some of those delicacies as well. All right. So I have another question for you. And this one is, what is your advice to young people wanting to become MVPs? What advice do you have for young people who want to become MVPs? Yes, Jumoke. I don't know if you got my question. All right. Looks like we lost Jumoke due to the network connection. I'm sure she'll be back soon. But like I said, what we intend to do in this program is to enlighten the community on what path to take when you want to become an MVP. we know we have some interesting questions, and we'll be jumping right to those questions very soon. So, just before Jumoke comes back online, I would like to ask my first question to the production MVP who has been assisting us here in the house. Right. So, hello, David. I would like you to come on board. I would like you to give us an insight as to one of the questions we have being asked by the community. So, David.
I'm not sure
Yes.
that wasn't part of the plan. The people are going off script now.
Yes.
Going off script.
yes. I know it wasn't part of the plan, but we have to make do with what we have. Right. So that's why I've got this wonderful question for you. And my question would be, must I have a Microsoft certification before becoming an MVP?
I'll say you don't have to, but it does help. Right, it definitely does help. So actually, that can be one of the routes that helps you as part of becoming an MVP. So I definitely do that. So I'm currently working through that with my good friend Kofi, who is also on the call today. So we're studying for like a Microsoft Azure certification, for example. And as we're studying for it, we're sharing what we're learning with the community. So we have regular sessions where we share that with the rest of the community. And actually, that now goes back to part of being our MVP contributions, because then we can claim that and say, hey, we're sharing this information that we're learning as part of studying for this certification, and then this is part of our contribution back to the community. So, and I'm open to correction from other veterans, community people like Dara and Mr. Sheyi, and Oyer and Jumoke that are here. So, but you don't need to, but it definitely helps you to do.
Oh, that's great. All right. I would ask. Okay, thank you very much for that, David. I know you need to go. All right. So I would ask the next question to one of our MVPs we have in the house, and that would be none other than Dara. All right, Dara, you'll be taking the next question we have from the community, and they want to know, what do I need to do to become an MVP? They are looking out for something like tips, strategies, and realistic timelines. So what do I need to become an MVP?
Okay, thanks very much for that question. I think it's one of the most questions I've gotten since becoming an MVP. I would say the first thing you want to do is be awesome. Being awesome for me means you are contributing. You're sharing what you know, or just sharing what you're learning. For example, if I learned that there's a better way, because I'm a programmer, so I'm going to talk as an example of a programmer. Okay. I learned there's a better way to write a method in C# to be more efficient. I'll post that knowledge, maybe in a blog post, or on a video, on any platform I want to share, maybe just on Twitter. Okay. Share what you know, share what you've learned. If it's something new to you and you're excited about it, or answer someone's question on Stack Overflow, for example, and share that knowledge. You find a fix to a problem, do that. It can be as simple as contributing to docs. An example was about 3 years ago. I saw some fault in an API Microsoft wrote. It was giving me very much headache. I had to spend about 3 days solving it, and I realized it was just a little bit of a issue with the docs, and I think the doc did a pull request, and that was it. So it can be as simple as that. Continue doing that over time. Continue sharing your knowledge. And what I tell people is, you don't need a big platform to start. You don't have to have 1,000 subscribers to be an MVP. You can have just 10 subscribers. You can just have 2 listeners in your podcast. You can only have 3 visitors to your blog post. Just ensure you're sharing this knowledge, and the recognition will come right after. So continue sharing the knowledge that you know. The timeline, I think it's about 90 days from your nomination. If you have that, 12 months track record of activities, it's about 90 days. And the renewal comes, I think now they've made it every month. It used to be twice a year before, but in recent years, it's become like every month you see new MVPs. So as soon as you share that knowledge, Document it. One thing I tell folks is you learn a new thing, document it. Shout about yourself online also. Automate things if you can. And that's one thing I preach quite a lot. Automate things. For example, I tweet like every 4 hours, but I'm not tweeting. Find a way to automate it. It might be a free tool you're using for it. It doesn't really matter. There are tools you can use to freely automate stuff online. Just do through all that process. Continue doing it even when you become an MVP. Don't stop sharing knowledge. It might be offline and can be online. So it doesn't matter if you don't have internet to show that you're sharing this knowledge. Take pictures of it, put it on one storage somewhere. Document everything, every knowledge you share. Because even if it doesn't make you an MVP, which I tell people, you can come back and even learn from that thing in the future. One of the people I look up to in the industry says, I write a blog post not because I want to share it with you, but because my future self might need it. Because as programmers, we forget things a lot. And it's okay. But if I write a blog post about the knowledge that I've gained today, in the future, I can just put my name, Dara Oladapo, how to do this. Then I find myself in the past sharing knowledge with the future me. And who knows, someone else might find it and might be that deal breaker for them in their job. And they'll be forever grateful to you. So just keep sharing the knowledge that you have and then document it. One thing that's lacking, you do a lot of good stuff, but you don't document it. Document the things that you do. And don't just share it with one set of people. Yeah, I might share it with one set of people, but why not share it with the whole world? What do you stand to lose? Nothing. Just a lot more people knowing about the stuff that you do. So once you know something, tell people about it. It might be as little as how to write 2 lines of code. That makes someone's life easier. You might want to just say, okay, I keep writing this code over and over again. And I make it an SDK that someone else can use. Put it on Nuggets. Put it on, what's it called now? Yeah, it's Nuggets. Make them download it and use it. That's one of the ways to get started being an MVP. So just take whatever you know, share it, contribute to docs, contribute to forums, join communities, be an active part of your community. That way, you get recognized, and then you can be nominated to be one. It might be a Microsoft person that sees you, or an MVP that says, oh, we think you deserve to be an MVP, and then boom, you get it. I think that's how I would answer that. And it takes about 90 days.
Cool. Thank you very much for that, Dara. I mean, you actually broke it down into pieces, step by step, and all of that. Thank you very much for that. All right, I have a question I would like to put across to one of our founding members in the house, Sheyi. Yes. So, Sheyi, hello. How are you doing?
Great. I'm still with you guys.
All right, cool. So I have one question for you, which I would like to ask, and that question is: when one becomes an MVP, does the demand in the workplace increase because they know your new status? So, because I mean, they know that now you're an MVP. I feel like, you can contribute more. So, do you have a scenario where that demand increases?
Well, this question is practical, and is something that we can say is real. And when you work in an establishment, especially if a Microsoft pioneer establishment, and they know the value of what you have become, definitely expectation will also increase, and they might be asking for more from you, especially in order to showcase their profile, in order to showcase the experts which you are. And I remember when I was working with an MVP, and that was my first launch to the community work. And anytime I go with my boss, there is this expectation that people are looking from him, and in his profile he'll write there one of the MVP in Black Africa, because then there were about 1 or 2, 3 across the continent, and the expectation is always increasing. So as I said, it's real. Your establishment might want to ask for more, But MVP status is really driven by the community activity. And from what all we are all saying, share your knowledge, create a platform where you can give back. And for me, my passion is grassroots. Bring out the talents in people that are nothing, that has this great potential, and bring them out. So if your employee, and I know you're an MVP, I might want more from you. And but if the value, if I work in a company that don't really know the value, they might not ask as compared to a company that's a Microsoft Gold partner or Silver partner that understand what an MVP might be. Their front, what did I put there? In this show business, there is something they use. They call them, I don't know, ambassadors or something to showcase the reference to how good their experts are. So it can come in either way. Either it might increase your workload, or depending on the establishment you are working on. Talking practically from my experience over the years.
Thank you very much for that enlightenment, Mr. Shea. I mean, you've been giving us, strategy steps, giving direct answers back to back, and we really appreciate that. I will have my next moderator taking on from you. Hello, Raphael.
I'm good. Thanks for all the wonderful questions you've asked, and thank you, Shea, and thank you, Dara, for answering. Is Paul there? Paul?
Yeah, sure, I'm here. Yeah. Yes.
Okay. So let me ask you this question. Does becoming an MVP affect your pocket?
Oh, okay. So it doesn't really affect your pocket, so to say. It depends, on which area you're looking at it, So if you're more of a YouTuber, that writes a lot of content like Mr. Dara, you could possibly say, yeah, it can take your time, it can take some money out of your pocket possibly. And if you are someone that organize community events, that possibly you need to get a hall, you need to get a lot of things, speakers, a lot of items. You might not get all the support from people, from outsiders. So which means you need to possibly get some things out of your pocket to make those events come to life. Yeah, so it depends on which area you are looking at it.
Okay,
all right.
I think we lost Paul there. Dara, would you want to add a chip to that?
Yeah, I would say when making the contributions, it most likely will affect your pocket, because sometimes you don't get the kind of sponsorships you want. You might think, okay, I'm just putting an hypothetical figure here. We need 500,000 naira for this event. And you open, Microsoft Nigeria would give us maybe all the money. Okay, and they're like, oh, sorry, there's no budget for this at this point in time. They start to look for money. Maybe they say, okay, they were able to talk to some other arms of the business and they're able to probably gather 300,000. You have to find the remaining 200,000, or else the event will not hold. Or you might have to cut back. So you might have to go as, dear MVP friend, I've gone to Microsoft, it's just 300K we can get. We need to contribute money. It might affect your pocket that way. That's in part of contribution. And part of the things you get back, Microsoft does not pay us to be MVPs, but there are some other benefits that come from that. For example, I get some licenses I get to use for practice that I would normally have gone to pay for. I get Pluralsight. I get all these amazing opportunities to actually improve myself that I would normally have gone to pay for on the normal day. I get LinkedIn Premium. $70 a month is not cheap money, taken out of a year. So even though it might take out of my pocket when I'm doing the contributions, there's the reward system that also pays me back. Even recognition alone is enough reward for me. And I know tomorrow I can get better jobs based on that profile. So indirectly, it's actually improving my economic status. So that is what I would say to that.
Can I say something? Can I say something to that?
Yes, please.
Okay, now This could be a debate, really. Now, like I said, it depends on which area you are looking at it. Not everybody organize community events. As a matter of fact, you don't need to organize community events to become an MVP, right? You could possibly be a blogger. You could be someone that put your content out on YouTube, and those things literally doesn't really take money out of your pocket. You understand? Let's say, for instance, I'm a kind of person that I love doing community service, and I want to organize conferences, and I want to possibly organize some events. Definitely, it's going to take some money out of your pocket, right? But if I'm somebody that possibly I'm a blogger, or possibly I put my content on YouTube, I don't think it literally takes money out of your pocket. But I have some very experienced people also in the team that can add more to this, Mr. Shea, Mr. David. Yeah, but from the content I look at it, it depends on which area you are focusing on. If you are focusing on organizing conferences, events, yes, it's going to take money out of your pocket. But if you are more of a blogger, you are more of a YouTuber, it doesn't literally take money out of your pocket. You just need, to have your content available, and give it out and share your knowledge, to people.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. So this is the second to the last question. I'm going to ask this one, and Promise is going to take the next. So we see that on the banner, like Dara has his own specific one. Mr. Paul is Azure MVP. So I'm going to ask this question. MVP is assigned. This is actually from one of the audience. Said, I see the MVP is assigned to specific technology like Azure, DevOps, .NET. Do we have an option to choose, or Microsoft will assign it to us as per our contribution in that technology?
Okay.
Do you? Okay, continue.
Well, that is one mistake most people do. And talking from our background, we are jack of all trades. David are now a changed set of people. They have specific roles, specific things they do. But in those days here, you can be an infrastructure person, you can do DevOps, you can do Office, you can do everything, and that's where we have been built. Most time, for you to get proper nomination, pick on the area you specialize on. So if you are doing blogging, and you are doing blogging on different applications like DevOps, like Azure, they might not be able to streamline you to certain nomination category, and it might take time for you to be nominated. So if you are an Azure if you are specialized in Azure, then you must ensure that all your contributions are tied to that particular stream of products. It makes your nomination easy. That's why they categorize it. And Darren mentioned something. He said they give you all this application software as a payback. Now, recognition, sometimes abroad, they recognize you, talking from Paul and balancing it from what Dara is talking about. When you talk about it's like a payback. Once you are recognized in advanced country, they respect you. And they know that in this technology, one way or the other, you have showcased yourself to be a perfect match for any solution that they bring up, whether as a community leader or probably to showcase the product itself, because software has been given to you to practice on that particular line. So in nutshell, what I mean is that the categorization of application and product is to ensure that MVP has they have specialization in a particular product line. And it will ensure that you have this advantage when it comes to talking to the community, answering questions online. But if you are a jack of all trades, which I was in those days, I was doing Azure, my nomination was very stream until I met somebody in the US, and he told his Peter, the tender, and Adnan Edric. He said, Microsoft don't nominate you because you are a jack of all trades. You must be an Azure person, an Office person, or a developer before they can categorize you, and your domination will now be categorized on that line, and they can use it to award it. So specialization is necessary. Specification is a key to your nomination, and is very good in making you to be streamlined to the category you want to come out to be.
Awesome, thank you so much. So, dear viewers, we only have we have 2 more questions before we round up. Okay, so we have. Thank you very much, Shay. My next anchor will take the next 2 questions, and that'll be it for the day. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much, Raphael. Thank you very much, Sheyi. Sheyi, I don't know if you understand the depth to which you broke down that concept. I would say that personally, to me, that is, you actually gave me a concept I've been struggling with. You actually made it clear to me that, okay, yes, you need to specialize on one product. You don't need to go around doing this, doing that, and all of that. So I really appreciate your answer on that. All right, Dara, I'll be asking you this question, or maybe I'll be taking 2 questions for you. The first one I want to ask you, Dara, is this. What level of content must you have to become an MVP?
Okay. That's a very interesting question, I must say. Now, if you watch my YouTube videos or anything I do, I pretty much try to break things in a beginner perspective. So most of the content I create are for people who are just coming in. Yeah, I create more advanced stuff sometimes, but that is things you have to pay for. Now, the free stuff I do, I beginner because I teach C# at the beginner level, teach ASP.NET Core, teach all these things. So it doesn't matter if your content is beginner level, mid-level, or high level. What matters is you're improving the technology ecosystem. Yeah, you can do a lot of advanced stuff. It might be your yeah, it doesn't mean that I do basic stuff that I cannot do advanced stuff. I want even in the coming weeks, I want to do some more advanced stuff because there's a lot of beginner stuff now. I need to go a little bit more advanced because my audience have been asking for a little bit more advanced stuff. So I'm preparing to do that in coming up. So the level of content doesn't have to be super deep. It might just be as little as one aspect of the thing you love. Probably how to make one connector in Power Automate or how to connect Power BI to Excel. It might just be that simple content. So it's dependent on you. You can decide whatever you want to create, and you can create everything. And I just talked a little bit to what Mr. Sheyi said, that you are in developers technology does not mean you cannot create content on Azure if you want to share that knowledge. Yeah, I'm a developer technologies MVP. I work with Azure every day. I work with Azure DevOps. I work with Office apps, Microsoft Teams apps. I work with all this stuff. It doesn't mean I cannot contribute in that section, but the way I would submit my contribution, I'll have a primary contribution area, which is .NET or JavaScript or Azure DevOps. Then the other field I touch on. Because in the future, my award category might change. I might be pivoting from being a developer to being a core Azure person. Yeah, I'm a core Azure person, but I'm more known as a developer. So what is your brand? That is what you want to portray your contribution as. I'm known as a developer, even though I do a lot of other things. So that is how you structure your contribution, the brand that you want to portray. What do I want to be known as? That is what you portray your content as. And I hope that answers the question.
All right. That really does answer the question. And it's really been wonderful here today. At this point, I would like to bring the session to a close. But then before I bring the session to a close, I want to specially point this out. So in case everyone doesn't know, we have some team members who are at the background, ensuring that all of this are able to work. who are the background ensuring that we as a community are able to provide content such as this. I will just be mentioning a few of them that has really been helping us. I might not be able to call every one of them, but please just take notes. One of them is Roland, who has been helping us with the website. Imo Etuk, he has taken us on a training as well the other time when we had the last program. And also Oluwadara has been a very wonderful designer for us. We also have some other members that have been paying, and contributing to the community, and we want to appreciate them. Now, on a final note, before we close, I would like to thank our MVPs that came today to contribute, such as Fonyi. I would also like to thank Sheyi. I would like to thank Jumoke Toriola. I'd like to thank Dara, who has been of immense help in explaining these concepts to us. I would also like to thank Paul Oyer Mcquinhua, and then our producer, who has been on the background, none other than MVP himself, David Okeyemode. I'm really, really grateful for all you have been doing. We really, really appreciate. And just to point out something, I would like to bring your attention to one of the beautiful work David has been doing. David, if you could share my screen. This is one of the wonderful work David has been doing. He's actually released a book titled Microsoft Azure Security Technologies Certification Guide. I would like everyone to take the opportunity to go to Amazon URL, https amzn.t0/2VOD11Z. Take your time, go to that site, get the book, and be able to learn one or two from the MVP himself, David. Right. Okay, so at this point, like I said, we'll be bringing this program to a close. If you haven't joined our channels, I would like to encourage everyone to join our channels. These are our channels. In fact, we have these various links on Meetup, Twitch, YouTube, Twitter, LinkedIn, and Telegram. I'd like to encourage everyone to join our channels so that you can keep abreast with every program and event we are going to be running, right? And then we are here to serve you. Yes, and in case you don't know my name, I am none other than Promise Uche Unwachuku, and I am your moderator for the day. And I have been on this line for a while, as a cloud ops, a DevOps guy. I'm also learning and also pushing to become an MVP as well. Hopefully that will be granted to us. And also we have our other moderator who has really anchored and helped share this event for today, none other than Raphael Gabmomo. So I would like to thank everyone for your effort throughout this whole program. I would say it is much appreciated. For those of you who we couldn't answer your question now, we will try to see how we'll provide more answers to those questions. So we'll get back to you on those questions on our channels and even on this streaming link. So bye for now. Thank you and God bless.